So, you've knit your first scarf. It's 8 miles long and you are as tickled as can be, and now you're at the point where you need to bind off. Don't worry, this is not a scary process at all. What you're essentially doing is tacking down each of these stitches so that they can't make a run all the way down your knitting like they do in stockings. And all you do to bind off is knit 2 stitches, and then with your left hand needle pick up the first stitch that you knit and pull it over the top. I always put my finger here to block anything from falling off. Pull it over the top of the second stitch. So now you've got 1 stitch on your needle and you have bound off 1 stitch. I know you knit 2, but you have to knit 2 stitches for every 1 bound off stitch. So you've knit 2, you've bound off 1. This live stitch you just leave right on that needle and you knit a second stitch. You always have to have 2 stitches to bind off with. So 2 stitches on your right hand needle. Bring that first stitch over the top of the second stitch. Now you've bound off 2 stitches. Knit a third, or fourth I should say. Pull that over the top. That's 3 bound off. And you just continue on knitting another stitch, pulling the first one over the second one, knit another one, and you just keep going in that manner until you have bound off all of your stitches. This method is really useful for just about any situation. It's the one that you'll use most of the time. Now when you get to the last stitch, there's nothing left on your left hand needle. You don't need that anymore. But you're stuck with this last little stitch. You don't have anything to pull. You can't pull that over the top of anything. So what you'll do is break your yarn, or cut it, and simply start tugging on your needle to elongate that last stitch and keep pulling it until it pops right through. Just pull it straight through and it will already be locked down. Sometimes I tend to have a little, this last stitch on the row just below tends to get a little bit kind of leggy. Usually when you weave in your end you can kind of tack that down to get that guy out of the way. But that is a knit bind off.